evening and welcome to Dateline. I'm Ann Curry. For months now, many Americans have watched helplessly as their jobs and bank accounts have vanished. And too many are falling prey to scam artists who promise easy money in these desperate times. Well, Chris Hansen now investigates how to help you steer clear of these dangers that could trigger even greater financial disaster. Chris?
Thanks, Ann. We've investigated a number of scams where you feel badly for the victims, but you kind of wonder, didn't they see this coming? Well, when you see this, you may instead think, gosh, that could have been me. The scam is smooth, complex, and given these tough times, devastating to the people it ensnares.
Another major sell-off on Wall Street.
The headlines seem to get worse every day.
The Dow was down to 1997 levels.
The economy in a nosedive.
We have lost 3.6 million jobs in this country.
Unemployment at record highs.
First-time claims for jobless benefits surged by 7%.
And in the middle of it all, internet criminals are now targeting people desperate to find jobs. Officials warn the scam is spreading nationwide.
One day,
often with devastating consequences for honest, hardworking families.
I'll give you a pair of sunglasses.
Carol Browning is a single mom, raising a son, a daughter, and a granddaughter. She has a full-time job, a house in a nice neighborhood, but now she's at risk of losing it all.
And I try not to let them see what I'm going through or see me crying or worrying about it. But
that's got to be stressful.
It is.
Carol got caught up in one of the biggest scams sweeping the country. As you listen to her story step by step, ask yourself, would you have done anything differently? It all began just before Christmas when Carol was searching online for ways to make some extra money. She spotted an ad for what sounded like a perfect part-time job.
And they were saying, do you like shopping? Be a mystery shopper.
Do you like shopping?
Yeah.
Mystery shoppers are paid by retailers to test whether sales staffs are polite and helpful.
Okay, thank you.
So Carol signed up online and before long got this letter with instructions. It all looked legit. A company name, Mystery Shoppers PLC, an address in New York City, even a toll-free number she had to call for training before she could start. Her assignment? Shop at a local Walmart to test how helpful the staff is. Then, evaluate the service at Western Union by wiring money to another mystery shopper in a different state. The amount to transfer? Just over $3,000. The company told Carol she didn't have to worry about the money. They'd send a check, enough to cover her shopping trip to Walmart, that big Western Union transfer, and her pay for doing the job. In all, a check for $3,850. Did you wonder for a minute, maybe, could this be too good to be true?
I did.
Carol got the check all right, but she was cautious. So before she did anything else, she says she took the check to a teller at her local bank.
She ran it, and she told me, yeah.
Good to go.
It's good. You can get access to your money tomorrow. And I said, you sure? She said, yeah. I said, not a 7-day hold on it. She said, no, it's clear.
Thinking things were on the up and up, Carol followed the instructions. She deposited the check, withdrew the money from her account, went to Western Union, and wired $3,100 to a company contact in Kansas. Everything seemed fine until a week later when Carol says she tried to fill up with gas. Her debit card linked to her personal checking account was rejected, so she tried an ATM nearby.
And it wouldn't go through. It said insufficient funds.
Insufficient funds?
This was only for $20.
So you had nothing in your checking account?
Nothing.
Turns out that big check was no good. Even though Carol thought she'd checked it out, even though her bank gave her the money, it turned out to be a sophisticated counterfeit. And you may be surprised to learn that in cases like that, a bank can still reverse the deposit and hold you responsible. And that's exactly what was happening to Carol.
Pulled the account up and told me that I was overdrawn $3,500 and some dollars. And I said, what?
That's a lot of money.
My life just turned upside down because, I couldn't do nothing but cry. And I asked the man in the bank, I said, check again because this can't be real. He said, yes, ma'am. The check been recalled and you got to cover the check.
In effect, Carol hadn't wired the company's money. She'd sent her own, draining her bank account. And the bad news got even worse. The bank said the regular checks Carol had already written for her mortgage, her car, her utilities, all were bouncing. What's more, when her weekly paycheck from her regular job was direct deposited in her account, the bank seized it to help pay off the debt.
I was just devastated. I was just trying to figure out what am I going to do? How am I going to come up with this?
What did you do when you got home that night?
I got some of my jewelry, my rings and bracelets. I took them to the pawn shop and I pawned them.
We wondered, with so many people out of work nowadays, how many cases like Carol's are out there, how much money is being stolen, and who's behind the job scams that are cheating Americans looking for honest work. Join us as we go online and undercover, applying for jobs, and taking you inside the scams.
Hello, Linda. Just take it. Go send me money, okay?
Coming up, a single mom who thought she found a great job online, a payroll clerk.
When you print these checks, did they look real?
Yes, they do. I have one in your name. Would you like to see it?
When Promises continues.